The Fall Guys redemption arc is this summer. Mark my words, the second half of the year is where Fall Guys creative and the game itself will turn the corner. We have mobile rumored to be here by the end of July. We're getting collaborations up the Unvaulted Classic rounds, and a boatload of new and exciting creative features. If you made plans this summer, you might as well cancel them, because after I go through what we can expect from the roadmap, you won't want to leave the house.
It's not that serious. Trust me, I know that.
Yeah, this is the roadmap video if you couldn't tell. I could probably spend about 5 minutes on every topic just babbling my gums off, but I'm going to try my best to stay brief and keep this thing moving. Here are the timestamps as always. You can skip to what you want to hear about the most. There's obviously a lot to cover, but I am very excited to do so. Lastly, quick disclaimer, most of these bullet points are vague and left for speculation and interpretation. If you know anything about me though, that's never stopped me from dropping my takes and theories. In other words, while some of what I'm saying is fact, a large portion of this video will also be prediction. With that being said,
let's go.
So the roadmap has two sides, June on the left and summer 2024 on the right. And because it took my slow ass 16 days to make a video on this side is already complete. But let's hit a quick recap so that everyone's on the same page. So of course we got the new Fame Pass. Fame Pass 11 is here. This time around it's fantasy themed, and like always the base cost is 600 Showbucks. I'm going through it in much more depth in State of the Game 6, so for now that's all I'll say on it. Next on the list, 4 classic team levels have been re-added to duos and squads. On June 18th, Mediatonic re-added Egg Scramble, Quarters, Rock and Roll, and Power Trip back to the duos and squad round pools. Here's how long those rounds were vaulted up until that point. It's pretty crazy. The only remaining team level in the vault now is Egg Siege. And last but not least, on the June side, small space camera and ledge grabbing improvements were added on June 11th, as well as a whole lot more bug fixes and improvements. If you want to know more about it, watch this video. It's the first link in the description. But now let's get to the fun side of the roadmap, summer 2024. The first thing on the summer 2024 side is new Mediatonic-Made creative levels. This is something I mentioned in State of the Game 5. It is important for Mediatonic's team to give us a few official creative rounds per update just to show us a baseline of what's possible with the current features. For example, as much as I hated getting blasted into the slime surfers, the pushbox raft level was a very cool concept akin to hoverboard and hyperdrive heroes. It was a lot of people's favorite round from that show, and it inspired a lot of really cool spin-offs by creators. So for that reason, I'm really glad to see that this is something they plan on doing this summer. Next up, the most exciting bullet point, especially if Fall Guys creative is not your thing, we're getting a selection of classic levels re-added or unvaulted. There are currently 21 out of 82 classic levels vaulted in Fall Guys. With the re-addition of classic games to the game selector in Update 10.9's second set of hotfixes, re-added levels are obviously very exciting. With such a large number of levels unavailable, it's definitely hard to pick and choose which ones I think will return, but damn it, I'm gonna give it a try. Here's a chart with every level that is currently unavailable from knockout, solos, duos, or squads, broken down by season. It's a long list, but not as long as some people would try to have you believe. Anyway, I'm gonna pick 5 levels that I think have the best chance of returning this summer and give you a couple sentences why. First, let's get a few out of the way. The Invisibeans levels will probably not return until at least Halloween, and they are never part of core shows anyway. Bean Hill's Zone is vaulted for other reasons and might never return. Block Party, Wall Guys, Star Chart, and Party Promenade have been removed from all 4 core shows due to 10.9's new physics. So that leaves us with 14 levels to choose from. So what are my 5 best guesses?
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let's get into it. Number 1, Breezy Peak. It was recently added to customs as a part of one of the LTMs, even though you couldn't actually play it. Number 2, Hyperdrive Heroes, for that exact same reason. Hopefully them accidentally being added to customs is foreshadowing. Number 3, Speed Circuit. This was part of the Vault show in customs until 10.9, and to me has no areas where the dude jump height or physics is too much of an issue. Number 4, Roll On. I searched for like 30 minutes trying to find the reason this was vaulted and came up empty. This is a fan favorite course with seemingly no issues that's also supposed to be present in extreme shows, the only LTM we've gotten back since the Fall Forever update. And last but not least, number 5, Night Fever. This is one of 4 opening courses that is still vaulted, the others being Roll On, Space Race, and Cosmic Highway. Once again, I searched extensively for reported issues on this round and came up empty. If you watched my last video, you'll know that the 11.0.1 update fixed issues with the drawbridges being desynced for players, so as far as I'm concerned, this round no longer has any issues. So once again, my 5 picks are Freezy Peak, Hyperdrive Heroes, Speed Circuit, Roll On, and Night Fever. I can't wait to come back to this video in 3 months to see how wrong I am. Comment which 5 levels you want to see back in the game the most. And to help you out, I'll drop a list of what's currently vaulted in the pinned comment. Next up, we're going to be getting some knockout level updates. As of the 10.9 update, knockout is the only show in the game that's going to have frequent level refreshes now. Don't shoot the messenger, those are Mediatonic's words. Knockout has had 2 different round pools in the span of 46 days, the initial one on May 7th and the one on May 29th when they re-added classic rounds back. Pretty good considering that round pools in the past have been pretty stagnant. That being said, we are definitely due for a new one, and lots of rounds utilizing the rotation controller definitely deserve a spot in the next set. It'll be interesting to see if they remove the classic rounds from Knockout and embrace the full competitive creative show this summer. Next up, we got a brand new Fame Pass, and this will be Fame Pass 12. Obviously, we can't have a whole summer without at least one new Fame Pass. If we follow the breadcrumbs of Fame Pass 11's ending, Fame Pass 12 should begin on July 24th, and that might even be the release date of Fall Guys Mobile as well. Interestingly enough, one of my unnamed sources has told me that Fame Pass 12 will be 500 tiers long and only contain crown shards. Trust me, bro. 3D lobby backgrounds. This one is pretty interesting. These were originally leaked over 2 years ago by FG Pancake back in May of 2022, slightly before SS1 Free-For-All was released. Here is a clip that they posted showcasing what it may look like when available. This is something I consider quality of life improvements because it improves the vibe and atmosphere of the game, but not necessarily the gameplay itself. Pancake's leak looks absolutely amazing, and I think this is something they can expand upon further, allowing players to customize their home screen. After all, it is the screen you see the most of, especially if you suck at the game. Like me. Next up, we got improved level loading times. Now, this one is a bit suspicious. It was on the previous roadmap, and to be honest, based on my experience, I can't say that the loading times were necessarily faster. I mean, obviously we got explore mode, and that speeds up how many levels you can play per session, but the round-to-round loading times themselves, especially in knockout and core shows, feel the exact same as before the second roadmap was even released. That being said, with mobile rumored to be right around the corner, this better be a box that they check off fast. Last but not least, for the game updates part, we got additional quality of life improvements. This is another one that could honestly mean anything, but here are 3 major quality of life changes that I've been begging Mediatonic to add to the game. Number 1, spectator free cam. This is basically just a camera that allows you to spectate the level from a non-fixed point of view. When you spectate in Fall Guys, you're always snapped to someone. Of course, you can switch between players, but I think it'd be cool if you could spectate from an aerial view and watch multiple beans at once. This would be great for content creators and streamers for getting great angles or video clips, and just a great option for players to have in general. Number 2, intro cameras for creative levels. This is another thing that makes Unity levels feel more alive than creative levels. Here's an example from Debtoshi using Cinematic Unity Explorer to make a custom intro camera for his level. It'd be awesome if this became an official feature. And finally, number 3, locker search, sort, and preset. Something that every Fall Guys player has been asking for since the dawn of time. There are way too many cosmetics in this game for us not to be able to search, sort, and create presets for them. Here's a concept of what that could look like from Aoclim. And man, it just shows you how nice it'd be to have that search bar at the top there. There's no chance we get all of these in one update, and to be honest, we might never get them. But there's a few that the community have been asking for a long time. Let me know in the comments if you can think of any other quality of life changes that Fall Guys needs to add. Alright, now it's time to move on to the creative tools parts of the roadmap here. First up, we're getting a new creative game mode, which is always great to hear. Now, it's most likely crown grab based on the image on the roadmap, but I'd argue that Rising Slime would be much more beneficial. Survival rounds make much better finals overall, and survival rounds are not nearly as polished as race ones right now. But if it is crown grab, it will at least help existing creative race finals feel more genuine. Either way, any game mode that we get in Fall Guys Creative is a huge win because it unlocks new potential for creators. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with because my levels still look like this. Yeah. Next up, we're getting a new power-up as well. Of the power-ups from the initial SS4 Creative Construction teaser, we still have 3 that we're yet to get. The hammer, double jump, and wall jump. Personally speaking, I'm hoping for wall jump as my favorite type of rounds are parkour. I think wall jump would add a new level of challenge and mastery, especially with the new physics. 6 months ago, we got our very first power-up, and exactly 12 weeks later, we got 2 more. With the addition of more and more, something interesting to wonder is will there ever be a time where players are allowed to carry multiple power-ups at once? Other games like Mario Kart and Super Mario World would let you keep a power-up in reserve and it helped to mix and match playstyles. You could switch to what you needed at that moment while not having to pick and choose. Sure, we've only got 3 power-ups right now, but there's no telling how many power-ups we'll have in the future, and having 2 power-ups at once might unlock new mechanics or metas for certain type of levels. I don't know, maybe it could be cool. Anyway, what do you think the next power-up's gonna be? Moving on, we have Destructable Objects, and this is by far the most interesting thing on the roadmap. At risk of sounding like a broken record, whatever these are will definitely help Survival reach new heights. The only thing we have so far that are even remotely similar to that description is falling hex tiles and moving push boxes. Adding more things that players can interact with in creative levels is always a great thing. Off the top of my head, a few cases where these may be useful are in adventure maps where you could potentially have to clear a path, puzzle maps where you might need to destroy something to reveal a button or switch, or even hunt levels if we ever get them in a game that records and scores how many objects you destroy. Another thing I thought about is lots of people use hex tiles as like fences around their survival levels. Maybe these destructible objects will look a little bit better and help make creative levels feel a little bit more polished. I also wonder if they'll be a little bit more robust than hex tiles and push boxes, maybe taking 2 or 3 blast balls or party crashers to be destroyed or something like that. I mean, honestly, I could go on and on about theories and predictions, but I have to move on. I seriously cannot wait until we get more news about what these actually are. Please let me know in the comments what you think destructible objects will look like when they release. All right, next up, physics options for objects. It feels like we've been talking about physics for creative for almost a year now. The most interesting thing to see is what objects will have these options. Obviously, the rotation controller is very nice, but I wonder if this update will bring us standard side-to-side motion. I've also seen people in the community asking for things like a custom path, similar to Mario Maker, and more frequently, objects and obstacles that have the ability to speed up over time. Levels that have moving parts feel much more alive and fun to play most of the time, and survival levels benefit from these additions immensely. I can't wait to see what the developers mean by this bullet point right here. Additional decorations and objects is super self-explanatory, but we're long overdue for some themed objects, obstacles, and decorations. I think most notably the gravity zones from Legacy Season 4, the trapezes from Legacy Season 6, and the hurdles or jump ropes from SS1, as those will go well with the now much cheaper rotation controller from 10.9. As far as decorations go, I love to see the LS6 hot air balloons and the stadium stands from SS1, as they just make the vibes immaculate, no matter what level you're playing. And last but not least, additional colors and one more background. We saw how much better levels got with the shapes and stickers update, or update 10.7. It included tons of new colors and the space background. They not only inspired a ton of SS2 themed levels, but lots of new themes and color palettes started popping up as well, improving the aesthetic of creative mode more than anything. As far as backgrounds go, the only Seasons era backgrounds we don't have yet are the Legacy Season 6, Symphony Season 1, and Symphony Season 3 backgrounds. Now, obviously I've got no way of knowing which one they'll choose, so I'm just gonna flip a 3-sided coin right now and see what it lands on. Oh, would you look at that? It landed on LS6. I guess that's what we're getting next.
Yeah, okay.
So that's it. That's what we have to look forward to in Fall Guys for the next 3 months or so. If you made it this far into the video, leave a ranking 1 through 10 on how good you think this roadmap is. Or is there anything that's not on the roadmap that you were hoping for? Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss another commentary video like this one. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Peace out.